Thank you very much for staying with us. We continue with our coverage, and I want us to continue with our conversation here in studio. I remember we had started to delve into issues surrounding IEBC, and before we took a number of other developing stories. We're talking about IEBC's stance on really doing away with periodic announcements of the results. And Francis, I was to get your comment on that. NASA says that this will actually allow rigging. Is it really possible?
First, Betty, just kindly allow me to mention something regarding what you took us the break for.
Yes.
That's about religious institutions.
Yes.
And I want to encourage religious institutions and inform them that peace is a byproduct in the context of electioneering, is a product of fairness, justice, and nationalism.
Yes.
Because as you can see, even where the battles are between candidates of the same jurisdiction, it's basically they are fighting about the political parties. Who is more, visible in the party than the other one? Who is more attractive to the presidential candidate? And I think they need to focus on the aspect of justice. They need to focus on the aspect of fairness, and they need to focus on encouraging Kenyans to stop seeing candidates and parties, but more of Kenya. Because when they do that, then the byproduct of that will be peace. But the moment you keep talking peace, 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 but you are doing nothing about the ingredients, then you not have peace. So I want to encourage the religious leaders, kindly look at the ingredients of peace, and that is justice, fairness, and nationalism. Let Kenyans know this is not about the contenders. This is not about the political parties, but 8th of August is about Kenya. But the moment they continue telling Kenyans about peace, peace, but they are not looking at the components that make up peace, then they are failing.
All right.
In respect to the issue about periodical, information to Kenyans about the outcome, I think for me it's a catch-2020. Where you have everything evil and you are looking for the lesser. Because
why do you say that?
If you announce the results, as the final results, people are likely to speculate. You didn't allow us to see what was happening.
All right.
But on the other hand, as well, when you announce periodically, the people are likely to have some perception. If the person who was ahead is bypassed by the other one, then they are likely to say, what has happened? Why did you have so many votes? So I think they have to look at where they are going to balance. But I think for me, if they don't announce periodically, they could be caught in chaos.
All right.
They should be able. About so many agents, the agents aspect, I'm a participant in it. Sometimes you have very small rooms. And what they normally do, they actually exclude, and I'm talking about party primaries, they exclude the agents from witnessing. In the excuse that there are too many, move aside, they only leave the PO, the presiding officer. So I think for me, that's why they need control. That it's not, as many as you can afford, because it means those who have more money then can afford more agents, and therefore they will be outnumbering the ones who do not have, and that is also a coating chaos.
All right, we have to wind up, and I'd like to get the comments of my panelists as we wrap up. Right now, Nelson, I mean, with just 11 days to the election, and we're having everybody talking about peace, peace, peace. What is the onus of the leaders and the electorate in actually making sure that we do not have any chaos come August 8th, because it's either us or the politicians. So really, what should be the message right now as we head on, even as they continue with their campaigns?
Permit me to pick from the national anthem. It says, "Justice
be our shield and defender.
Be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace, and liberty." Now, if we interrogate those values in the order in which they come, justice comes first. And let me echo the call put forth by Francis here. People should not come and tell us nonsense about peace. We've lived in peace for the last 4 years. Who is going to interfere with this peace? I think we'll be peaceful. But if you don't give us a just and fair, credible result, how do you expect the people to be peaceful?
All right.
But that does not mean that people must now go to the streets. We saw what happened in South Korea. We saw what happened in Brazil. Those with high command responsibility in leadership must now be put to account. So should anything of this kind happen, as it did during the time of Kivitu or Isaac Hassan, they should not just be let go with a park. I think they should be tried in a public square at Uhuru Park and if found culpable, they should just be executed in public.
All right.
That will bring an end to the shenanigans once and for all.
All right.
Yes.
Tommy, let me hear your thoughts also on the responsibility of the media, because we also have such a big role in this whole conversation about peace. Yeah.
Yes, I would encourage people in the media to encourage, not to hype up certain stories and to be fair and balanced. That's where you can be helpful, by being fair and balanced and not overhype negative situations.
All right.
Yes.
Not overhyping.
Yes.
All right. So George, your closing comments in regards to, what can Kenyans do to ensure that, it's not just a matter of the police or the politicians, that them themselves they spur peace, whatever they will be.
Even if it were the police, Betty, I would say that the police responsibility is to protect the people and the properties. That is what they are paid to do, not to scare, not to hurt people. And so they should take up their responsibility. And we also need to know as Kenyans that we have a country to live in even after the elections, whichever or whatever way the outcome goes. So I would want to say that, as it is being reported, even the media, like my brother Wakili says, there is also responsible journalism. We know that the opinion polls are showing that things are tight. Even if you look at the Nairobi race, you are told that by the opinion polls that there is a tight race between Dr. Evans Kidero and Sonko.
Yeah.
Yet one person is campaigning, another one is not campaigning. So how do the opinion polls work? Sometimes you don't understand. And even myself, I've never met someone who has been questioned by opinion polls anyway, so I really don't know where they come from. Yes, but I would really urge that it is important for us to know that peace starts from your own attitude and your own thinking.
Right.
And those who think that there is not going to be peace, please know that Kenya is going to be peaceful. People should not start traveling, going up country, taking their families up country, imagining that there is going to be any change.
All right.
Nairobi is going to be Nairobi. Let us stick here. Vote where you've taken, your voting station, where you've taken your card.
And go home.
Exercise your right. Do not be disenfranchised by anybody, just scaring you that there's going to be war.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your final thoughts, Francis, as we wrap up very quickly.
Yeah, I know you're saying that they vote and go home. That's a debate for another day.
Oh, they shouldn't?
But what I want to tell Kenyans, these elections are not about the politicians. These elections are not about political parties. These elections are about your future. So you should make sure that you do not narrow this game to a game between the minority, and the minority are the politicians and the contestants. So I think it's incumbent upon Kenyans to really know that parties don't vote. The aspirants have limited votes. The majority of the votes belongs to Kenyans, and they are the ones who ultimately will decide who become their leaders. So why fight over them, yet you are the same people who are going to make a decision?
All right.
And if only you could be able to have that in yourselves, then you do not have to fight before and during and even after election, because you are the ultimate decision makers as to who you want to be your leaders. But I want to caution you, if you make it to be a game between the contenders, then Kenya will never be about you. So you have a choice to make, whether you want the whole thing to be about you or to be about the politicians. Remember, Obama would tell us, choices have consequences.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. A good way to wrap up the conversation. I've been speaking to Francis Parisime, who is an independent candidate running for the Kajiado North Member of Parliament seat. Thank you for your time. George Ndonji, who is also a communication strategist and a political analyst. We also have Tommy Randall, who is a lawyer and an analyst, together with Nelson Harvey, my extreme right, who is also a lawyer and an analyst. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time.